I'm a little bit concerned as to how it's already time of the year to do this tag. Hi, welcome, come on in. My name is Aoife and today I am going to take the mid-year book freakout tag. This is one of my favorite tags on BookTube and it is, one of the reasons that I started a BookTube channel. I feel like this year has gone in a very strange way in that some months really flew by and then some months just completely dragged. But I am really excited to take a look back at the couple of months that have just gone. At the moment, I have read around 50 books, but I'm not going to talk about all of them. I'm going to talk about some of them that I really, really enjoyed this year. So, question 1 is the best book that you've read in 2020, and it was American Royals by Katharine McGee. I didn't really have a lot of expectations when I went into this book. I just knew that it was a book about a royal family in the US in a kind of an alternate history timeline where George Washington wasn't given a presidency, but instead he was given a crown. And this was about some of his descendants and how Beatrice, who is the heir to the throne, is preparing for her life as the queen, and also about her siblings and about the relationships that they have and ex-girlfriends and possible girlfriends, possible boyfriends, possible spouses, like consorts to Beatrice. I didn't have a lot of expectations when I went into this, but I adored it. I think I ate it up in about 2 days. I really, really love the characters. I'm a very character-driven reader, and I really loved every single character that was in here. Even Daphne, even though I'm not really a big fan of her, I just sucked up the drama that she was in. I really, really enjoyed reading this book. The sequel of this is supposed to be coming out in September. I don't know if that's going to be changed because of the situation in the world right now, but when it does come out, I cannot wait to get to it. The next question is the best sequel that you've read this year, and I haven't actually read a whole lot of sequels. I think I've read quite a lot of standalone novels this year. The only sequel that I've kind of read, if it kind of counts, is Stacey and the Mystery of Stony Brook by Anne M. Martin. It's one of the Babysitters Club series books, and it's about Stacey who investigates a ghost that is living in one of the houses in Stony Brook. It's just one of your generic Babysitters Club books. I think I gave it like 3 stars on Goodreads. I think that is the only thing that will qualify as a sequel right now. The next prompt is a new release that you want to read but you haven't gotten around to yet, and that is Pretending by Holly Bourne. I adore Holly's work. I could generally read the phone book if she released it. And this is one of the only 2 books that so far Holly Bourne has written that I haven't read. The other one is Soulmates, which I think was her debut novel. But I am really excited to get around to this one. It's been out since April. I got it delivered to me on the day that it was released, and I still haven't gotten around to it, which is kind of the story of my life, basically. Question 4 is your most anticipated release for the second half of 2020, and that is another chick lit book. It's In Case You Missed It by Lindsay Kelk. Lindsay Kelk is one of my favourite chick lit authors, and this one is really kind of screaming out to me. I have got a copy of it from NetGalley, and I am going to get around to it really soon. I just need to stir myself on and actually pick it up. And I know as well that once it is released, I am going to go and buy a physical copy in my local bookshop. Number 5 is your biggest disappointment. And I am going to lose quite a lot of friends here. I hated it. I think I got to about 25-30 pages in and I just could not keep going. It read like fan fiction, and I'm not very au fait with the royal family. I'm not a big royal family supporter, but there was a lot of bent reality, much more so than there was with American Royals, where it was just a fictionalized version, so you could kind of suspend your beliefs a little bit more, but I just didn't connect with this at all. And I know that that is quite common for people who live on this side of the Atlantic, that they're not really that into it, whereas American people really, really enjoy this. But yeah, this one just was not for me, which is such a disappointment because I spent all of 2019 so excited to read this book. Question number 6 is your biggest surprise, and that was The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. I went into that book with absolutely zero expectations. I just knew that Christina Lauren was a pretty good chick lit writer, and I was completely blown away by it. I loved the writing. I loved the characters. I really, really enjoyed Olive. I think she's one of my favourite characters that I've read this year. And I think I will remember the massage scene for quite a long time. Question 7 is your favorite new author, whether that is new to you or their debut author. And again, I'm going to go for Christina Lauren here. I really enjoyed The Unhoneymooners, and I am so excited to pick up some of her other books. I've got some of them on my Amazon wish list so that I can keep an eye on them, and I'm also going to just pick them up if I ever see them in my local bookshop. Question 8 is your newest fictional crush. I don't generally get a lot of crushes on characters. I think the last time that it's happened to me was with Michael Moskowitz from The Princess Diaries, and that was 10 or 15 years ago by now. But he's kind of got some competition from this year because Prince Jefferson from American Royals has kind of come in to take his throne. I really liked Prince Jefferson. He seems very attentive to Nina. He's really compassionate with her. It kind of seems like a Prince Harry and Meghan type storyline, but I really enjoyed reading them, and I think he's going to have to go on my fictional crush list. Question 9 is your new favourite character. There are quite a lot of characters that I have really liked reading about this year. I really liked reading about Lena from The Switch by Beth O'Leary. I really, like I said, enjoyed reading about Olive from The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. I really liked reading about Amira from Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reid. But I think my favourite character would probably have to be Beatrice from American Royals. I don't know what it was, but I really connected to her because we're both oldest girls. And we both felt like that kind of having to be a surrogate mother thing that a lot of oldest daughters would have in the family. Although I didn't have the added pressure of being the first in line to a throne. Question 10 is a book that made you cry. I don't cry at books a lot, but I did cry at the end of Noughts and Crosses by Mallory Blackman. I'm going to talk about the ending here, which is a bit of a spoiler. So I'm going to hold my hand up, and when my hand goes back down, you can unmute this video. I think I was expecting an 11th hour savior for Callum, like there was with his dad earlier on in the book. I think I was just expecting something to happen that he would survive. But that didn't come about, and I was just devastated by the end of that book. It was so well written, and I cannot wait to finish out the series. For some insane reason, I have the 5th book in the series on my Kindle, but none of the others. So I'm going to go and search them out immediately. Okay, I'm done. You can come back. Question 11 is a book that made you happy, and that was Tweet Cute by Emma Lord. I adored that book. I really loved the relationship between Pepper and Jack. I really loved that it was so heavily focused on food, which is something that I really love. I made so many grilled cheeses while I was reading that book, and I am one day going to make a monster cake, and then I will just not be able to eat anything for the rest of the day because it sounds like it's so heavy. Question 12 is the most beautiful book that you have either bought or received this year. There is no other option for this. It has to be The Black Flamingo by Dean Atta. The cover is stunning. I got this as a gift from Emma from Book Girl 24, and I have heard so many people recently have just raved about this. It's written in free verse, which isn't a layout that I'm very familiar with, but I have a feeling that it's going to be a really good shake-up to my reading ways in a minute, so I am definitely excited to pick up this book. And lastly, what books are you looking forward to reading by the end of the year? I have 2 already on my shelves, which are On the Come Up by Angie Thomas and Get a Life Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. I haven't read either of them yet, and I know that I'm going to really enjoy them because I know that Angie Thomas is a fantastic writer, and I know that there is so much representation in Get a Life Chloe Brown that I am just going to absolutely love it. I know also that Chloe Brown is a bit of a romance book, and I have gotten kind of into romance books recently, so I know that that's a genre that I'm going to be really excited to explore. Also, like I just said, I am so excited to read Lindsay Calk's In Case You Missed It. And there are a couple of other books that I know are probably going to pop up before the end of the year that I am going to have to get to. But I will keep you updated on what those are. So that was my take on the mid-year book freakout tag. Don't forget to like and subscribe because I have new videos up every week. Now get on out of here.